I love that voice, don't you? Recording in progress.
Writing in
Here we go,
progress.
recording. I am Kim Benjamin. I am a life coach. I call myself an emotional intelligence coach because I believe that if you're not intelligent about your emotions, you have no idea what's driving your actions. I say this every time now. Thank you, Stanford. Thank you, Stanford, for doing the research that shows that our emotions drive our actions. So, if you want to understand why you're doing what you're doing, then I like to take you into a place of understanding like what it is you were trying to feel, what it is you were trying to feel. And I'm so glad that I have my beautiful, fabulous um, partner, Counterpoint, who actually puts this into tangible terms and speaks so clearly. And I mean, she says things, and I'm just like, damn, I wish I'd said that. Nicole Kaufman, and I'm going to let her introduce herself to you, and then we're going to talk about what we do.
Thank you so much for letting me partner with you, Kim. I am Nicole Kaufman, founder, owner of High Performance Counseling. I am a licensed clinical mental health counselor. I'm going to talk to you about all your drama and your trauma and get you past it into a leveled up, more direction focused part of your life. So if you're ready to do that and you are already self aware, you are go, 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 you're high activity, you are driven, you are focused, but man, sometimes you can't get out of your own way, then I am your girl. And
You are.
what, yes, so we're trying to, you know, get in this whole alchemy thing. Kim, talk about that for a minute about what we're doing in that room and in this circle and how it's going to go, because you get like all of us if you go there.
So I love that. And I love the fact that you said talk about this alchemy thing. So just a little um anyway, I won't spin off. Well, I can spin off, but so it was probably like 20 years ago. I had someone do an assessment of me, a psychological assessment, and do some things. And she said this one phrase that really stuck with me. She said, "You're here to be an alchemist." And I was like, "Excuse me?" And
What?
so that is the point, historically, mythologically, alchemy was about bringing diverse elements together to create gold. And that is what we do in the alchemy room. We bring you, all the things you think are not enough, too much, wrong, bad decisions, and all the things that you don't give yourself credit for, your brilliance, the things you've lived through, not survive, but thrive, the things that you've done. We bring all of those elements together and we go, here, you are gold. You are gold right now. You're gold where you are. You get to go forward. It doesn't mean that, gold is a soft material. It doesn't mean you don't have some dings in there. So we kind of smooth those things out. So that's what the Alchemy Room is all about. It is a free community where you get to come and you get to hang out with us doing stuff like this. We're doing these as recordings now. We will probably, not probably, we will eventually be doing some lives, and we may even have some really fun, interesting guests with us. So we'll start like a round robin thing. We'll either call it coffee hour or cocktail hour. I don't know, whichever works. Um, that is the Alchemy Room. It's a free community where high achieving, overachieving, exhausted, burned out, what the starting to say is wrong with me. Women, come. We want you to come.
Mhm,
The Alchemy Circle
mhm.
is the product that we're creating where we're actually putting together 12 modules under a formation called ACT, ACT, because Nicole is all about action, and I love that about her. Module section number one, it's in 3 sections, is all about awareness. So I really talk a lot about human design, which is what we're going to talk about today for a couple of minutes. And then Nicole gets to explain to us, like, okay, you got some information. Now, this is how you learn to make choices. I hear you. This is where you are now. This is where you've been. Again, where do you want to go? And that's where
Oh,
she really, that's the refinement process. That's the alchemical process where she's refining those things into choice. And then we come back together to co-collaborate, co-teach, co-direct, co-kick your booty, co-hold the tissue, hold the bucket, whatever, to create transformation. Because you're going to find out who you are, you're going to discover that you have choice and figure out how you want to apply that. But then you're going to need some support in practice. You can do that one of three ways. We do self-study, which is all digital, recorded, and you can just go at your own pace. We have a hybrid where you get to hang out and have some exclusive bonuses where you're going to get to see more of us. And then we have the VIP, which we call the red thread, because for those really super busy, overachieving, burned out, I can't do this anymore, women, we actually kind of like walk with you and we support you. Okay, do this, do this, do this based on what you tell us. So, three different ways. And today, if you'll notice on the calendar, we've had some really fun things. And today we're going to talk about the awareness part. I call this naming the pain. I call this the assessment that doesn't put you in a box and why that matters. And I'm talking about human design. Now, as a disclaimer, I'm going to say I don't care about human design. Just like if I were honest, I don't care about cognitive behavioral therapy. I care about what it does for you. That's what we care about. That's why we talk about it. I spent 3 years, literally 3 years of my life, creating a quiz for my clients. Because Nicole, we didn't talk about this. You've been a therapist for 10 years. I've been a coach for 10 years. So there's a lot of water under the bridge there. And we got
Mhm.
some degrees and some experiences. Whoa, with the experiences. So I, this is like 6 years ago. I spent 3 years literally creating a quiz for my clients because my belief was that if I could support them to have greater awareness of certain characteristic behaviors, that it would give them more insight. It'd be like I don't know, be like an energy drink when they were feeling really tired. It'd be a boost.
Mhm.
3 years I spent doing this based on Jungian archetypes and Myers-Briggs. Really poured my heart and soul into this. Loved it. Had such a good time. But again, you went into 16 different categories, like with Myers-Briggs, like
Yeah.
Jung's 16 archetypes. And then I was introduced to human design. And I'll tell you, I first was introduced and I went, wow, this is fascinating. And oh, that is way too much information. And
It is a lot.
I went, yes, isn't it? I went slam.
Yeah.
Okay,
Hmm.
that's enough. Yeah, okay. And I had just finished my quiz. I was so excited. I had just gotten this assessment and clients were beginning to go, yeah, I see myself in that and I see this. And it became an identification. The problem with identification is that once again, you are in a category.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, Nicole, but we talked about this. We did a recording on shoulds and oughts. But what happens when someone tells you you are something?
No, not actually. Well, and I will come back and say what everybody says right now. Yes, but it's context specific. Context specific. I may be that way in some certain circumstances, but in others, not so much. And you know, it depends on how my hormones are doing and what's happening that day and blah. Right. Yeah. Context.
Exactly. Which is the reason that for me, I'm just going to say all, there are fabulous assessments out there. And
Mm.
the thing about them is that they're all, and number one, they're subjective because they're asking you questions about what you think your behavior is. And the interesting
Right.
thing is, as a coach, I tell all my clients, like, I'm just here to hold up the mirror. Like, you can't do the back of your hair unless you got a mirror, right? I'm
Hmm.
here. There are things we can't see in ourselves that we can so easily see in other people, in our friends, in our colleagues, in our family members. We can see them. We can see them, but we can't see them about ourselves. And wonder why that is. So the if you are trying to fit into, and here's another thing, I've been able to skew certain assessments because I could tell what the answer could be. So it doesn't matter how beautifully or how creatively or how intelligently the question is phrased because you said it's context specific. So I end up answering if like neutral. Yeah, I'm this way on Tuesday, but by Friday I'm the opposite. How do you answer a question?
Right.
They have
Hmm.
you. They have to give you a parameter of behavior so that you begin to identify yourself. that's always been a hook for me, even in the 3 years I spent with my own beautiful quiz. And so that is the beauty of human design. It talks about 5 different energy types, which is kind of how your energy flows naturally. And you and I were talking about this. For example, we are taught, slow and steady wins the race, the hare and the tortoise. And everybody wants to be the tortoise because the hare's bad. The hare cheats, the hare's fast, but then the hare gets lazy and then the hare
Right.
loses.
Yeah.
Well, guess
Mm-hmm.
what? I'm a hare. And
Mm-hmm.
I've decades trying to be the tortoise.
Mm-hmm.
What I mean about why I use this as an assessment tool is to give you permission to understand that even in talking about the different energy types, you may find qualities and you may get to know human design and you may go, oh, you must be a so and so. Maybe, maybe not, because maybe they're a different energy type, but they have certain aspects of their chart that give them qualities that make them appear to be something else. So, for example, you are a manifesting generator. You are what we call a hybrid. You have consistent energy, but you also have a motorized throat, which means that you can speak things and initiate things. It gives you the gifts of 2 different types. It also gives you the challenges of 2 different types. So, with what you've learned about your own energy type, is there anything that gave you a moment where you went, oh, was there anything that contradicted what you thought you knew about yourself?
Yeah, a lot, actually. Um, the one thing I remember when you and I were going over my chart, that feeling of feeling misunderstood by others, um, and that is something that continues to kind of dog me. Um, that I just can't put my finger on, and I think, how can you misunderstand me? Because I've told you with my motorized throat, I have told you everything that I can tell you, and I can tell you 17 different ways, right? I just don't run out of words. I talk too much, and ask me anything, I will tell you. And I feel like people read me or just don't get me sometimes. And not that I'm so finely nuanced or so absolutely quirky that I'm not understandable. It's just I feel like people should know, and I just I don't know, that stuck out to me and rang very true. um Yet, and I don't know what to do about it, right? So I'm still I'm still playing with that, right? Just because I work with Kim and I'm a therapist myself and I've had my chart run, and I'm still trying to figure it out, y'all. I'm still shopping in my aisle of crazy on most things. So I'm still trying to figure it out. So that was one thing that jumped out for me for sure.
Because you're 3-5, right? 3-5 profile
I
in
believe
that.
so. Yes.
So what Nicole is talking about actually is a nuanced portion. It's your profile line, and it is how you operate in the world and how other people perceive you. Because I have a 5 line also. And so I don't know about you, Nicole, but that has been a theme of my life. I have a tendency to over explain myself, which is
Mhm,
something neither you nor I are here to do.
mhm.
Because the truth is that 5 line basically is a projection field. It means that people will see us the way they choose to see us.
Right.
They will project onto us what they want to see in us. And what it really comes down to is we will never understand it because we will never know what their projection is. But there's a couple of things that you
Mhm,
learn with that particular profile is yeah, like so you get in fast, get in quick, and then you know when to leave because
mhm.
there is a place where and it can seem like it would be challenging for relationships, but there is a place where we are seen as fixers and problem solvers. And if we don't solve someone's problem, then they begin to see us as something completely different. So it's what we work on is understanding that no matter how much we explain ourselves, it's not going to change how they see us. So we give
Mhm.
ourselves permission to act. And this is kind of how we move through is by understanding that we're just wasting a whole bunch of energy trying to tell other people who we are. How we
Right.
show up
Hmm.
is what we get to do. So it kind of releases us to kind of releases us with that energy. And that's what we kind of work through. And you do a lot of work on this when we come to the choice section where you actually talk about your shadow work, because this kind of goes into part of the shadow work, like part of
Hmm.
the things that we're trying to avoid.
Hmm.
It goes back into like feelings we want to avoid.
Hmm.
It's so thank you for sharing that.
Hmm.
This is just a little bit about how we kind of start off in the alchemy circle so that you have a clear understanding of, oh, that's why that happened. Oh, what can I do about it? Oh, well, maybe sometimes awareness and acceptance is all we get to do about it, but we get to figure out how we step forward into that, how we choose to operate from our own authenticity and energy and empowerment rather than trying to get someone to understand us, as
Yeah.
challenging as that is.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, couldn't have said it better. And in support with everything that we're doing, I'm hoping to bring, the mental health aspect of it too, as we show up, as we create boundaries for ourselves, as we support ourselves, and in relationships, and seek to be the ideal partner that we want to be, right? um
Yes.
how does that show up? You know why do I have a problem creating boundaries, and what is it about myself that is making me boundary less, right? um and why am I even doing these, what is it good for? Those are the questions that we're hoping to answer.
Okay, I'm going to cross through hoping because I know that you will answer those questions. I know you, known you for
I will hope to. I
I've known
want
you for
to answer.
7
I
years.
will answer.
We're going to cross through. No, we got hoping taken care of.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we will definitely address those things. And thank you for introducing that because that is the purpose of the work we do. It's not just to learn something. Oh, that's how I am. Because we talked about in one of the other things, like you're not in a box. That does not define you.
Right.
Like this is who you, this is an energetic possibility for you. Now that you know
Hmm.
it, what do you want to do with
Hmm.
that? This is where you are just a superstar at intuitively knowing this is part of your chart too. This is why you're here, is to intuitively be able to hear, process, interpret, and guide other people. And you do it beautifully. And so, yes, Nicole will do this. She will talk about how you show up in your relationship. She will talk about these things. She will talk about how you take the next step into your future, because that's really what matters, right? Like the past is the
Right.
past.
Yeah,
And
and yeah, we're not going to dwell in that. And people have had some colorful, spectacular pasts. Me too. I will share willingly in my sense, and it's not always been pretty. But so what?
great.
Um, and yeah, I mean, it really is a so what, and it can be. There are those thought leaders and other coaches and therapists out there that think that, well, your past has dictated everything up until this point. I don't think so. I don't
Yeah.
think so. So we diverge, right? And yeah, I'm here for what we can do now, and how we can, you know, level up your life going forward. And because that's the idea.
There you go. What do we
Mhm.
do now? Play the ball from where it is. Oh, and
Yeah.
one last note. If you want to know about what happened to my eye, go back in the calendar, watch our very first video, and I will share my personal story. Okay. Thank you, love. We'll be back.
Yeah. Thank you. Heart hands.